Why is it?
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Well, that was strange. It gave me like an elongated countdown to the countdown to start the show. So that was, technical difficulties already around. But welcome back to DFS Daily. Happy Saturday night. It is the secret menu, the Contrarian show, where we go over the hot takes of the slate that can get you to the top of your tournament leaderboards. Chill, Baker, welcome back to the Deli. How's everyone doing tonight? Before we discuss the plays that are not for the faint of heart, as it were. So how's everything going pre-build? Because we're starting to get in the weeds, as Baker would call it, to start building our player pool, finalizing lineups, etc. So we're here to give you the takes, those low owned takes that'll take you to the top. So Bake, how you feeling, man?
Let's see. We did plyometrics today. We cooked at work for a party of about 60. Hit a few golf balls. I'd consider that a productive day.
Did they end in the water, or were they like?
This is on the driving range, not on the actual course.
Okay. I got you. So how many innocent employees did you hit on errand balls?
I'm not that bad at golf, you bastard.
Yeah, but you're not that good. So there's like a duplicitous edge between being good and being like bad.
I am the best golfer in the Deli, okay? Without a doubt. Best golfer in the Deli.
That is a fair assessment. Admittedly, that is a fair assessment. Chill, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Just went to watch Anthony play in a volleyball tournament. Had some drinks there. Had a couple different cider drinks that they have. Had me a nice caramel apple cider. It was actually really, really good.
You drink way too many ciders. Like, I feel like cider beers are just your niche.
That's my thing. That's the beer I like to drink. I never acquired that like authentic beer or IPA taste. I don't got it.
Delicious.
Well, next time I have a rep bring me some ciders, I'm gonna bring them straight to you and be like, "Hey,
let me." Dude, I'll give them a shot. But it was a caramel apple one. It wasn't bad. I don't think I would buy it, but like I don't think I would buy a case. But it was pretty delicious. I think it was by maybe. I don't think it was Cider Boys. I could be lying to you, but it was really good.
I don't care. No free plugs.
And as much as Sully and I know about beer, our cider game is lacking. Let's be real.
Weak. Yes, very, very weak.
I mean, but that's fair. Y'all have your thing, like IPAs or things like that. I don't know what y'all drink, but
tomorrow I'll be drinking a double golden ale. So thank you.
Okay, you're speaking Chinese to me. I have no idea what the hell that is.
Fancy.
I'm gonna be drinking a ting tong putong.
That's racist.
That's gonna get us canceled.
He said Chinese.
I said Chinese to me. I didn't do the rock here. No, let me say this to you in Chinese.
Wrestling references. Well, guys, let's jump right into it. As you know, we're going to go position by position to kind of break down some of the favorite plays of ours that are low owned. And by low owned, we're talking not sub 1% type plays, milli maker, dart throw type plays. We're talking the best pivots at each position and trying to get unique in our stacks just to make sure that we're not going completely, with the field. We're trying to deviate just a little bit to pass those other participants in our DFS tournaments this week. So we'll start at the QB position where it looks like Josh Allen is going to be the chalk du jour of the week. And I can see why, bounce back spot from his terrible performance and week 1 loss last week. Raiders defense susceptible to basically everything for the most part, except Russell Wilson because he's trash. So, home game with Buffalo, etc. So I get the logic behind playing Josh Allen, but I guess we can start there before we start getting to other QB plays. If we're going to play Josh Allen, how can we get different with our Josh Allen stacks? Because here's the baseline, right? We already talked about it off air. It's Josh Allen, Steph Diggs, Devontae Adams, run back. 30 to 40% of the field, especially in a small field, is going to be doing exactly that. So how can we get different either with our run backs or applicable stacks with Josh Allen to make his ownership not as chalky in your tournament builds? Chill, I'll start with you.
Yeah. I mean, a couple different things you could do here. You could use different stacking partners. You could use like Gabe Davis. Again, I know guys like Hunter Renfrow. When we get to these wide receiver things, Baker, I'm with you 100%, but he's popping.
Oh God,
he is popping.
That Chipotle's about to come back up.
I mean, these are just several different ways to get different. Maybe if you don't want to use Josh Allen, you just want to use, James Cook. You can play Cook with Allen. Different ways to attack the game. Those are just kind of several different ways you may be able to take a different approach.
Yeah, like I said, we want to be different, but we want to be smart about it. Baker, do you feel the same way Chill does?
I do, but wait. We joked about it off air, and now it's like sleeping into my brain. Like, could that be a thing? If you play the best looking man in football with Devontae Adams and Steph Diggs, maybe?
Well, I mean, that's large field, right? That's definitely a large field type of play. So we saw it last week, right? So Herbert was the chalk, and the actual play was on the opposite side of the ball with Tua, right? Like just the Herbert lineups got there, but Tua lineups got there. So could it be a case where Jimmy G could be the play as opposed to Josh Allen? It does give you a lot of salary relief because Josh Allen being, one or two most expensive quarterbacks on the slate. Going down to Jimmy G and just running him with Devontae Adams with a Steph Diggs run back does make it completely unique and allows you to get another piece in your lineup with automatically makes you different from everybody else. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we joked about it, but I feel it. I feel it. Jimmy G could be a good way to go in large field tournaments. I agree. I'm with you on that. So minus the Josh Allen stuff, Patrick Mahomes is obviously going to garner some ownership as well. But the thing about Patrick Mahomes is that minus Travis Kelce, who in the hell do you stack him with? If you stack him with anybody else at all. Baker, are you running any Pat Mahomes this week? And are you choosing a secondary stacking partner with him?
I haven't gotten to Pat Mahomes quite yet. As once we finish here, I'm, a lot of my building is gonna, really commence. We're gonna shrink the player, put my player pool, blah 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 blah, all that fun crap. I think only because he couldn't catch, so it has to be a bounce back spot for Kadarius Toney. I think if I was gonna choose one, that would be who. Besides him, I got nothing for you.
Chill, how do you feel about Pat Mahomes this week?
I mean, if I'm going to play him, I'll double stack. I think I'm more inclined to use Sky Moore. They do want to get value out of this guy. They do want him on the field. They did give up equity to draft him, especially I think that was in the Tyreek Hill trade. So, they do see something in him. And that would just be the guy I would stack him with it.
So we have Brick Hands and Cardio King.
So far, yes.
Yeah, I would just spin the roulette wheel and see who you land on. I mean, it's Travis Kelce or bust. So, if you're going to be building Pat Mahomes lineups, again, we talked about doing it unique with Josh Allen. If you double stack Pat Mahomes, you're literally getting unique with whoever because all the receivers are just guys. So I'm with it on that regard. So let's talk about some of the plays that are kind of off the board. Baker, you mentioned offline that we are interested in one Justin Herbert. He's garnishing more ownership on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel.
Yes.
Because the price difference and et cetera, which makes him probably a better play on FanDuel. But as far as using a guy like Justin Herbert, what has you interested in him this week?
He plays the Tennessee Titans. Do I need anything else?
Yep, that's all I was looking for. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
But do you have anything to add to that?
Tennessee and Titans. I mean, do you want analysis? This team has sucked guarding the pass for the last 3 years, if I remember correctly. There was at one point in time they made Baker Mayfield look like an actual quarterback.
They made Derek Carr look like an actual quarterback just last week.
Well, Derek Carr is an actual quarterback. He's just not a really good one. Baker Mayfield is not an actual quarterback. He just plays one on TV sometimes.
He played one on TV against your Vikings, bitch.
We're not going there right now. Okay,
I went there.
We're not going to my 0-2 quote-unquote Vikings. Not a Vikings fan.
Damn Vikings fans, boy, I tell you.
Even though it was funny, I appreciate the humor here. When we got to volleyball on Thursday, Jill reaches in his bag and he's like, "Yeah, we got you something while in Minnesota." He got me a freaking Vikings lanyard.
Represent, Baker.
I figured he was jealous. We got to go to Minnesota. He didn't. So yeah, I had to do my part and bring a little Minnesota back to Baker.
I mean, even though Chill is my archenemy, it's like that lanyard's still on my keys. I haven't moved it, even though I'm not a Vikings fan.
Baker, what color shirt are you wearing like right now?
Maroon.
It looks purple on my screen. That's weird.
This is maroon. It's actually more of a red maroon-ish. It's more red than maroon.
Looks purple to me.
That's the lighting.
Yeah, it's the lighting. It's the lighting.
Sick of you.
You should be. What makes Justin Herbert probably a better play for me is because Joshua Kelly actually opened up. So that's going to swing more of the ownership to Josh Kelly, who looks like to be one of the chalkiers, if not the chalk at running back for this week. And I don't know if people are willing to stack up Kelly and Herbert together with one of the pass catchers. So, it makes Herbert a little better play for me. Chill, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Herbert this week. I mean, I'm probably fading Kelly. If the Titans do one thing, they stop the run. I mean, they are a pass funnel, and they still proved to be a pass funnel last week. So for me, I do like Herbert. With Eckler out, I don't know how much receiving work Kelly will or will not get. So some more of those targets could open up for the wide receivers as well. In a game that does have the sneaky shootout potential, because the Chargers defense ain't good either. So I think Herbert becomes pretty interesting there at his ownership.
I agree 100%. So Baker, I'll kick it to you. Outside of those top three, who are some of the any other lower owned quarterbacks that you might have interest in this week?
The only other quarterback I have interest in is kind of Anthony Richardson. Obviously, he got you there last week because exactly what you think it would be. His rushing touchdown, his rushing upside, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. I can see a scenario where if week 1 was not an aberration and it's the trend for him, where he gets to that high 6K, low 7K price tag because of his rushing by the end of the season. So I think we still might be getting some sort of a discount. Obviously, this game doesn't, on paper, with only a 39.5 over-under, neither team is implied for much. So it doesn't appear to be like much of a, let's get into this game. But I think Anthony Richardson can also allow you the avenue to get to a lot of places that you want to get to as well.
I mean, it is a concentrated. I think that game's pretty concentrated on if both teams do score in the 20s. I think it's going to be very concentrated on the guys that are scoring. So, like, if the Colts put up 21 to 28 points, Richardson is probably rushing for, like, you need him to have like a Jalen Hurts game from this past Thursday.
Absolutely.
Like, he can have 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, and it's probably going to Michael Pittman or something. So I don't hate the play either.
Yeah, if he does what Jalen Hurts did on Thursday, he's perfect. Like, he's perfectly fine.
Which I think is
Jalen Hurts light because Jalen Hurts went off.
Right, which I think is in the realm of outcomes because of the team they're playing. Right, like the Texans aren't very good still, so like he could have a Jalen Hurts-esque type of game there.
And I think the most surprising thing from week 1, and obviously this is something that I'm monitoring, is, Anthony Richardson was considered a inaccurate quarterback coming out. And when he was targeting Michael Pittman, like those balls were catchable. Like what was it, 80% of Michael Pittman's targets were catchable targets. I mean, that just sounds like an easy stack to me.
That's a good sign. I mean, it really is a good sign. I 100% agree. And anybody that's going against Houston Texans, you can sign me up for the most part. So I'm with it. Except, I mean, they did make Lamar look kind of pedestrian last week, and now we get Lamar from Wish.com and Anthony Richardson. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm with it. But then I look back to last week. I know what happened last week is not necessarily indicative of what's going to happen this week. Very small sample size. But Houston's at home now. They did make Lamar look kind of pedestrian last week. So I don't know. Just thoughts. Chill. Anybody else on your short list? I'm sorry, Baker. Did you have another point with A. Rich?
Trust me, I wish it was Gardner Minshew instead of Anthony Richardson. That's all.
Then we'd be loading up some Gardner Minshew.
I
would be with you on that.
It would be a lock for Gardner Minshew. I'm not looking anywhere else.
Facts. Chill. Anybody on your short list that you're thinking about using?
Yeah, I do. I got 3 guys that are kind of in the one's really pretty, one's kind of mid, and one's rather ugly. I'll start with the ugly one first. We talked about it off air. Would be Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill is kind of attractive. I mean, not on the field, but like facial wise. Let me pull him up right now. Hold on. Let me actually see what Ryan Tannehill. Let me get a good look at him.
Listen, I understand Ryan Tannehill didn't have a very good game last week. It was terrible. He looked bad. Like I'm not gonna rule it out. Baker's going to sleep. But again, man, Ryan Tannehill comes at an extremely cheap price. He's $5K. The Chargers defense, still for the love of God, cannot stop the pass. They do have, easy stacking options with Tannehill. You can play him with Henry. You can play him with Chig. He does offer, I still think, a little bit of rushing upside. Like, not a lot. I mean, listen, if they do connect on that 50 or 60-yard touchdown, like instead of scoring like the 5-6 points that he did, he scores about, probably give or take 13 to 15. So again, going up against the Chargers here, it's not very good. The Chargers defense just isn't very good, and Ryan Tannehill just allows you to get more into your lineup at the price. My other call here would be Lamar. If you think that Cincinnati-Jacksonville game is going to be back and forth, like both of those offenses have to keep going. I don't know about you guys, but I think last year, and maybe nobody's bringing it up, didn't the Dolphins play the Ravens in week 2? And that game shot out, just went off the sheet.
Because Tua is the GOAT.
Because, like, I mean, now you're getting both teams. I mean, the Ravens have more offensive firepower and less defensive firepower than they did a year ago. And Burrow, to me, like, that dude doesn't want to get embarrassed 2 weeks in a row. So, again, I do like Lamar's. And then my other one is nobody wants to play Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy's coming in kind of popular on what I'm looking at.
I do not have Purdy at very high ownership.
Maybe he's a better play on FanDuel. Where's he at on DraftKings? Where are you looking at? Where's the Brock party? I got him at 8% on DK.
I have him at 4. I have him at 4% as well with Baker.
Yeah, I have him in the realm of Geno, Goff, T-Law in that tier.
I mean, you have Brock Purdy. Obviously, I mean, and you can play Brock Purdy with CMC. Like, I don't think any one of us is against that. I don't think.
Yeah, soak up all the 49ers touchdowns. Unless Deebo Samuel starts to run again, and that's going to make everybody mad.
But, I mean, at that point, you can play, Purdy with, if you want to go low ownership, I think it's going to be Ayuk, probably.
Oh, yeah, it's Deebo week. Everybody's on Deebo. Deebo this, Deebo that. We'll get to our receivers, but it's all about Deebo this week.
I mean, if you go, you can go Purdy, CMC, and Debo. I think that lineup, just because you're using Purdy, is already going to be different than the field.
I can get behind that. Baker, any more gross plays? No? Okay, I'm gonna throw two names out. All right. And you can go ahead and bash me and then just kind of get it over with. I'm totally fine with this. Okay. So the first one, again, is Baker Mayfield. Hear me out. Listen. Just give me a second. Okay. Don't click off the video. Don't click off the podcast. Just listen to me. Okay. Just shut up, Baker, you hater. Listen. If I say it, so we looked at the numbers saying Rashad White is not going to be as chalky as we thought, but he still makes a good salary saving play. He probably lost a lot of ownership because of Joshua Kelly opening up, and we might not have Aaron Jones tomorrow, so AJ Dillon might open up. I get why more people are getting off of Rashad White and going to other places, but the fact of the matter is that we saw Jordan Love tear up this defense. Baker Mayfield's weapons are significantly better than Jordan Love's. This is Tampa's first home game. This defense is trash, the Bears defense. So why not load up Baker Mayfield to be a direct pivot off for Cheat White? And Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are coming in super low owned. No one's playing these guys. So you got yourself a cheap stack, and you can still fit in guys like CMC, all your heavy hitters. You can probably get in Steph Diggs in that lineup if you want to. So it's like, cheap stack, high upside, no ownership. Large field, not for the faint at heart. Don't be using Baker Mayfield lineups in your small field, okay? No. Large field, load them up. Second, you're going to look at me weird, and Zach kind of did the same thing to me earlier, but I'm okay with that. How does, if he plays, which all signs look like he's good to go, but if he plays, how you feeling about CJ Stroud? Same deal. Cheap stacking options. This dude. Watch. No, you go stop hating. CJ Stroud. Cheap stack. Easy run back. Another cheap run back. So you can go Pity City on the other side. You can go Zach Moss on the other side. You can go whoever you want. And then you can still load up with the rest of your team. So in DraftKings, especially with pricing being so tight, we want to fit in CMC. We want to fit in Devontae. We want to fit in Steph Diggs. We want to fit in the Sun God. A stack like this allows you to do all of that. If you get Josh Allen, you're sacrificing either CMC, Devontae Adams, or Steph Diggs. If you bring along Steph Diggs, you're sacrificing Devontae Adams or CMC. If you use a CJ Stroud lineup, you can use all of them and still have the potential for someone that can get there. I don't know if he can get to the bonus, but he did put up over 250 yards last week against the Ravens in a blowout. I'm not saying the Colts are going to blow them out per se, because they're not. Houston, I do believe, is favored in this game, if I'm not wrong. So give me home favorites. Give me a cheap stack. Give me all my superstars that we're talking about. And again, this stack allows you to be different and just play the rest of your lineup with the chalk. Just saying. Again, large field, not for the faint at heart. So there it is. There's my 2 cents. There's my 2 players, my 2 cents.
My only concern with Stroud would be if the game is close. I think they're going to want to run first. I think for Stroud to hit, I think you're going to need the Colts to get up. I'm okay with the Baker Mayfield play because the Bears defense is not very good. Stroud, I would only be concerned that they're going to want to run first and often with Dameon Pierce. That would be my only concern with Stroud. If you want to go Baker, I understand the route to Baker.
I mean, and again, as far as pace of play, the fastest game on this slate is Colts-Texans. So, I mean, if we're expecting a lot of plays in this game, it could be beneficial to both teams because, again, both teams can't play defense. We already talked about how A. Rich is going to be a good play, potentially. So if we get a Jalen Hurts-esque night on the opposite side, we can get a Kirk Cousins-esque night from C.J. Stroud. Just saying. Just put it out there.
And then that means we're getting a Justin Jefferson-esque night from Nico Collins.
Dude,
What?
I mean, per how we're going here.
I mean, Devonta Smith is Michael Pittman. So I mean, yeah.
So play Dalton Schultz.
Loaded.
And that means Zach Moss is going absolutely berserk too. Okay.
I think you already just said my Millie Maker team. Like, we're done here. CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, run it back with Zach Moss. We're done here. We're done. I might double stack it. I might bring Pity City along with it too. Game stack. Full game stack. Colts Texans. Millie.
Listen, that is the lowest point total on the slate, just to let the viewers know.
Take the over. Pound the over. Pound it. You know what? I'm going on Draft Fanatics right now. I'm going to put that in. I'm pounding the over. $25 on the over. Just throw the hot 25 on there real quick. Look at y'all. I got to wait for my Deion Sanders money to come back into that account, so I'll wait. Sorry, I threw 100 on Colorado real quick to cover. Easy money. Money.
Well, Sanders threw his first interception of the season, so.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, there goes his Heisman. Oh, it's all over, guys. It's all over. One interception.
Oh, they were getting chippy before the game. Like, there was a bunch of trash talk and everything.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
They were fighting before the game.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Dion. Let's slide into running back because we spent a lot of time on quarterback because I had to go on a rant real quick. Let's just Baker, I think you and I are on the same page. I don't know about you, Chill, but we're insta-fading Josh Kelly, right?
Yeah, especially since I do want to play some Justin Herbert. Yeah, I'll risk it for the biscuit.
Okay, so we're all in agreement there, and we're all playing CMC, correct?
If I do a main slate lineup, he's going to be in it.
Excellent. So we got the chalk out the way. So let's talk about some of the lower owned plays. Let's talk about somebody that you can slide into your lineup that can differentiate your lineups at the running back position. Baker, you got anybody for me?
Well, I have my swaption off of CMC if I'm failing terribly. There's one swaption and one swaption only for me this week. His first name's Saquon. His last name's Barkley.
Interesting.
Though he's not quote unquote low owned, his ownership's going to be roughly half of that of CMC. So that in itself is what makes him a good swaption for me personally. Because you had me at Arizona, and obviously this is a bounce back. They just got embarrassed on national television spot.
Yeah, they kind of need to score their first touchdown of the 2023 season. Sorry,
it would be
their first points of the 2023 season.
Bro,
it would be nice for them to participate in the game of football. That would be nice.
Points. They didn't even get no points.
They didn't score a point, Chill. Not a single point.
Not even one.
Not one.
But I think one of the most interesting pivots and upside plays in general is Jameer Gibbs. I think Jameer Gibbs, him and David Montgomery are in that same price. He is less than half of the percentage of the ownership percentage of David Montgomery. We saw on Thursday the explosiveness that this dude has. If he outscores David Montgomery, you're dancing. At that difference of an own percentage, and obviously this is a very popular game, this Detroit Seattle game. If he outscores David Montgomery, you're dancing. And if you're gonna listen to Coach speak after Thursday's game, Dan Campbell said, we want to kind of just introduce him to it, blah 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 blah. I mean, I think that they should be getting him more involved, especially in the pass game. If this is one of the shootouts, if this is anywhere close to what it was last year, Jameer Gibbs could go stupid.
It won't be. Stop.
I personally don't think it will be.
No,
I personally do not think
it will. Living off that. That 40+ points from both teams is not happening. Let's stop that.
Well, I mean, the other time they played, I believe it was something similar, and then it was like 51-29 as well. So it is an interesting. It's interesting.
It's extremely interesting.
But the Seahawks both starting tackles are out.
I mean, I did say on Wednesday's show that the Lions will 5 minimum touchdowns tomorrow. So, yeah, Jameer Gibbs is going to be responsible for at least one of them. I can see that. I agree with you, Baker. I want to get some Jameer Gibbs in my life as well. Chill. Somebody low own?
Yeah. I mean, it's that time of the night. You're in the bar.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
You're in the bar. It is. I figured, I'll start the season off with a running back. Although I will say my text didn't go through, or however didn't go through. My fat chick at the bar last week was Brandon Ayuk. We are increasing a decent amount in price here, but she's looking mighty fine. She has break the slate potential, not only breaking the bed, but the slate. It's Bijan Robinson.
Not only breaking the bed, but breaking the slate.
Breaking the slate.
You are all about some Bijan. Bijan is explosive, man. He's a terror when he touches the ball. Already, you can see his explosiveness.
I mean, I think at this point, kind of, you were talking about Gibbs there. I think eventually, late in the season here, or as the season progresses, I think Tyler Allgeier's use is going to go less. I think they're going to want to start keeping Bijan as they're easing him into this lineup here. Again, he's especially on DraftKings, he has that receiving upside. He obviously has a rushing upside. Atlanta has a top 5 O-line. The Bears were able to do a little bit on the ground last week. I know Fields did have a lot of that as well. But the Falcons are still at home. We do see playing these running backs at home does help a lot. So for me, it's Bijan here. If you don't want to play CMC and you want to go down in price, I think Bijan would be the move.
Play CMC.
But still, I will still advocate.
Stop.
I will still advocate for play CMC.
So you're saying play CMC and Bijan?
If you don't want to play any one of those wide receivers, then yeah. Are you playing CJ Stroud in that lineup? Because you could. I could do it in my Ryan Tannehill lineup.
CJ Stroud, baby. Let's go. Load him up. Load up Bijan. Load up Devontae. Load up Diggs. Load up CMC. Because you started with CJ Stroud. And if for some reason, because of that shoulder injury, CJ Stroud is out, you best believe I will have 150 Davis Mills lineups.
Bro, Davis
Mills. You won't. No,
I will max out.
No, you won't. Stop.
I empty out the bank account because I already know it's coming back to me.
No, it's coming to whoever's in those contests. Like, thank you for entering 150 Davis Mills.
Shit, Baker. Go ahead.
If Jones is out, because obviously I don't think we really addressed AJ Dillon on the main show. I would probably fade Dillon here. I think. I don't know. Y'all.
I'm paid.
I mean, you know me. I like playing running backs against Atlanta. Yeah, I would play him. I'd play him.
Fair enough.
I mean, I don't have too many spots left at running back because the next guy that I've already mentioned several times, and I will mention him ad nauseum, is you play some Zach Moss tomorrow. All right?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. You play.
No, do not advocate that. Do not.
I get the logic.
I don't.
Listen, all right, Baker, let me break it down to you like a fraction, okay? Ownership aside, because it's less than 5%. Houston. Deion Jackson is in the doghouse because he lost 2 fumbles last week and went 13 carries for 14 yards last week. So he's ass. The backup, the rookies on the IR now, they're literally housing 2 running backs. They might bring somebody up from the practice squad, of course, but he's back, fully healthy in practice. And we saw last year when he took over, he was averaging 4.9 a pop. I mean, the dude was pretty darn good in the limited time that he was the lead back in Indy. So if we're talking about, a close game, even though it could be low scoring, which again, I'm pounding the over on this one. If Rich doesn't get those goal line carries and it is Zach Moss inside the 5, we could back our way into a multiple touchdown game He's dirt cheap. He's under 5K on DraftKings. FanDuel juiced him up a little bit. He's 6'1" over there. But like in that price range with all these other running backs that are cheaper options, if you're going to tell me a guy that's going to get the majority of the carries against a terrible run defense, it's your opportunity. Your availability and opportunity is what we're looking for. We're not looking for talent in these situations. Like, people are going to flock to Rashad White, and everybody thinks he kind of sucks. But the opportunity is there because the Bears' defense is trash. Houston's defense is trash. So what's the difference here between Rashad White and Zach Moss? Explain.
Rashad White does not have a quarterback that's going to vulture his damn self. Rashad White is very much so involved in the passing game. Rashad White has a quarterback who might dump the ball off to him where Zach Moss does not.
Baker, Deion Jackson had 4 catches last week. It's the same guy, except Zach Moss is going to step in this role. He had 5 targets, 4 catches last week, man. If Zach Moss is going to get 4 catches or at least 5 targets, like that bails him out of draft. He doesn't need a rushing yard tomorrow. If he gets 4 catches for 40 yards somehow, that's 8 points for doing nothing else. No rushing yards, no touchdowns. He's 4-9. What do you want? This isn't a 7K guy we're talking about here. This ain't even 5-5 at Rashad White. This is somebody that's less and way less owned. So it's the same dude, Baker. It's the same guy.
I can't get with it. I just can't.
Well, again, we've already taken the bet. You take Rashad White, I'm taking Zach Moss, and if you come over to Chili's house, you're gonna fucking pay up, right?
I'm not worried. Like,
I don't know what shot you're doing, but you're paying up.
I mean, I'll bring the tequila.
Did we miss anybody else that could serve some interest?
We spent way too much time on Zach Moss. That's what we did.
Listen, man, when I start to rant, I gotta rant, bro. I gotta go. You go again, Baker, and everybody listening and everybody watching. When CJ Stroud, Dalton Schultz, all right, and the Zach Moss run back take down this, I'm just gonna leave it on the screen. That's gonna be my profile picture for the rest of my life. Watch.
I don't know if you guys can see, but these gray hairs down here, it's because of that man. That's the reason I have these gray hairs. That man right there.
These gray hairs down here are strictly because of Derek Carr. Over the years, every Derek Carr lineup is one extra gray hair that gets into my beard.
You and Chill got a bunch of grays from that, like both of y'all.
Facts. Do we miss anybody before you head over to wide receiver?
We tried to make it work.
Did we mention CMC?
You should play CMC.
Okay, then I'm done.
All right. Chill, we ready to move on to WR?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play somebody like that's on nobody's radar and nobody's going to play him at all, I'll mention Breece Hall. Because the Jets
I would say late swap only.
I mean, the Jets are going to try to run about 30 times in that game.
In the first quarter.
And it only takes one. I mean, we've seen them break off an 80-yard run. If this probably wasn't week 1 and this was more like later in the year, he probably scores there. He's probably still recovering a little bit from that injury. But, I mean, this man is good at football. So.
Understood. I respect that.
That would be the only one that I can see where nobody's playing Breece Hall tomorrow.
Like I said, late swap only. If my lineups are failing, then I will swap off CMC and go to Breece Hall. That's about the only way I'll get to Breece Hall tomorrow, honestly.
You're leaving so much salary.
I know, but I mean, you go ahead and play Saquon. I'm gonna stick right here and just play just play Breece Hall. Screw it. But hopefully, I know one lineup that's already going to be in the top 1%. My CJ Stroud lineup. Okay. So at wide receiver, we discussed it off air. Majority of the ownerships looks like it's centered around, Devontae Adams, Steph Diggs, the Sun God. It's apparently Deebo Samuel week. I mean, I get it, but that's a lot of ownership, bro.
Calvin Ridley, don't forget him.
I'm going down the list. I'm on my way. Jamar, the aforementioned Calvin Ridley. Puka Nacua is still getting some love.
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua. And that's pretty much the big boys. Minus, Puka, he's his owners or not ownership, but salary still relatively low. I get the game environment. If you want to run back in your San Francisco stacks or you want a mini stack with CMC, completely understand. He was great last week. Same with him and Tutu. But I don't know, man. Could it be a 1 week thing? Because I mean, his prospect out of college was great. I mean, Puka was a good receiver, but the thing is, it's like, was it a 1 week thing? Because Seattle's not that very good, not that good on the interior. I mean, they're great on the boundaries, which is why they're one receiver. Why can't I think of his name?
He's not important. Van Jefferson. He's not important.
Van Jefferson. Yeah, he was absent, but everybody that worked in the middle of the field, they got there. So
listen, people have tried to make Van Jefferson a thing, and it hasn't worked out.
Van Jefferson is like
he's like the Kansas City wide receivers at this point.
He's like Fetch, like the one girl who tried to get Fetch to happen in Mean Girls. That's what Van Jefferson is. You keep trying to get Fetch to happen. It's never going to happen.
Just dropped a Mean Girls reference. It's a good movie.
Have a Mean Girls reference? Did that just happen to me?
Come on, no. I love Mean Girls.
It's a good movie. I ain't going to hate on it.
So out of these top ownership plays that I mentioned before we get into the lower owned plays, is there anybody that you're at the top that you're willing to fade outright? Or are we kind of like sprinkling these guys in our stacks or run backs or anything like that? Like, is there one or two guys that kind of stick out to you that are like, nah, I'm not doing that?
I'm on the fade, Steph.
Why?
I'm just willing to take a stand. Like, I understand with the amount of lineups that I personally do, I can get Steph Diggs into these. That's fine. At some point in time, you have to take a stand. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown, dollar for dollar, might be the best play in his game environment. I think Jamar Chase, obviously, we've all seen him break the slate versus this exact same team. And, they have injuries in their secondary. So that makes him, in my opinion, one of the best plays on the slate. Devontae Adams, I mean, he's not going to do what he did last week again. At least you don't think he will.
I mean, Patrick Surtain ain't there. So, yeah, he'll be all right.
So it leaves me, because I feel like I can get adamant exposure to Buffalo without him. And if he puts me to bed, he puts me to bed.
I think it's the same logic that we used in the quarterback section, Baker, and I 100% agree with you, is that I think Diggs is the most fadeable, only because probably the best pivot play on the slate is in the receiver position, and it's Gabe Davis. And
Absolutely.
It's probably not close. So if you want to get off the Diggs ownership and get your Josh Allen stacks unique, you just play Gabe Davis. I mean, he broke the slate, 2 or 3 times last year?
Yep.
3 catches, 100 and some odd yards, 2 touchdowns. He ain't going to get you 10 catches. He ain't Steph Diggs.
No.
But as far as game-breaking ability and no ownership, it's Gabe Davis, number 1 with a freaking bullet. So I'm with you. If I were to take a stand on one of the top guys, it would be Steph Diggs, because I can go to Gabe Davis. Like, I don't feel comfortable fading Devontae Adams to go to Hunter Renfrow. Sorry, chill. I'm okay with from Chase to T. Higgins. T. Higgins is not going to put up 0 again. But I'm also not okay with Sun God to Josh Reynolds. Plays like that. So if I'm going to do this, yes, I would probably take a stand on Steph Diggs and say, okay, you're out of my player pool, but I'm still using me some Josh Allen. I would go straight to Gabe Davis, save the salary, and you could probably put in another heavy hitter in your lineup because of the salary difference. So
absolutely,
I'm with
you. I would be comfortable fading Calvin Ridley over Steph Diggs.
Do you think it's a Christian Kirk week?
I mean, I just look at the Jags, right? That team could spread it out. That it could be ETN, it could be Kirk, it could be Ingram, it could be Zay Jones. I mean, those are four likely candidates there in a game that could be back and forth. We talked about it off air. That Chiefs Jags game could be 28-28, and you can have 8 different guys with touchdowns and like 50 yards. Both of those quarterbacks spread out the ball pretty evenly. We already went through the plethora of Chiefs wide receivers. And don't forget, Jacksonville's got ETN and Tank Bigsby. I mean, these are all likely candidates. So I would feel the most comfortable fading Ridley. I think if Josh Allen gets there, I think Diggs is with him. Unless if Diggs isn't with him, then again, then maybe it's Allen, and maybe you play Cook at that point, or you play Davis. I don't hate Davis. It's just that either Davis is getting you 0, all right, he's getting you 0, or he's getting you 25.
Absolutely, those are all within the range of outcomes for him.
So like if you want to play Davis, right? If you want to play Davis, that's fine. I get the logic behind it. I'm not against it. I think Calvin Ridley is the easier fade.
Yeah, but I mean, the logic is the exact same, Chill. I mean, if you don't play, there's ways that Lawrence gets there without Ridley, because you can play Kirk, you can play Zay, you can play Ingram, you can play ETN if you want.
I still feel like from all the off season issues, I feel like Allen really wants to get Diggs the ball often and a lot, and I think he will press to get him the ball. That's just my opinion. Again, I have nothing to back that up. I just think, especially if that game stays close, I think he's going to be looking for Diggs often and as much as he can.
Well, Baker already mentioned, probably the best pivot play on the slate is Gabe Davis. You got anybody else for us that could kind of fit that mold at low ownership that could be inserted in your lineups this week to, kind of differentiate your lineups from all the chalk that we have at wide receiver this week?
I mean, I don't know why from what I see, but for some reason, Keenan Allen is garnishing a lot of ownership. So even though Mike Williams will be owned, it's just one of those situations where it just turns into a decent price. And if his own teammate is, almost 10%, at least that's what my computer's telling me right now, more owned than he is, that just seems like a great play. The thing that I'm really confused about right now, and I'm hoping one of you can explain this to me. So, like, there's a lot of ownership going to this Seattle-Detroit game, but nobody wants to play Donkey Kong or Tyler Lockett.
Because it's on the Detroit side.
Donkey Kong. Dude, it's the same deal with Tyler Lockett. I mean, how many slates must he break in order for y'all to play this man? Like, how many? So, yes, I am aboard with Tyler Lockett. If you want a cheap way into that game, again, at no ownership, yes, Tyler Lockett, sign me up, please. Just do it. If you want to run the Sun God, why not run your mini with Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf? 100% agree.
I mean, DK's popping in the Sims, so just gonna throw it out there.
Oh, DK's popping. You might have to sign me up for some Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong. Yeah, I like that. I like that as well. And I'll mention again the Bucks receivers. If I like Baker Mayfield, I like the God and Mike Evans as well. So again, these are guys that can go out and cut a slate right in half, especially, like I said, against this terrible defense. So any of the Bucks receivers are still viable for me as well. Chill, anybody else you got?
Yeah, I mean, like, I was going to run it back. I was going to run, just a 2-for-1 special at the fat chick at the bar. But Baker swooped her up, got her number before he swooped her up. I was coming, man. I was like, yeah, you're going home with me tonight. That's a grown-ass woman right there. And Baker swooped in, got her the Uber. So, Yeah,
DK grown. He kind of grown. That's a good pull, Baker. That's a good pull.
My bad. I didn't mean to steal your
yeah,
thunder there.
No, it's okay, man. Baker's getting down with the big girls. That's all right. It's all right. You'll come to love him. You'll come to love him, Baker.
I don't know if I can do it. She got this big girl kind of scared me.
You already took, and she got an attitude too.
Yeah,
like you saw when it was losing last week. You just pushed the damn corner for no damn reason. I mean, she got a little attitude. So I mean, I think you might like that, Baker.
I mean, her thighs got some muscles, you know. Like,
here's the thing: I'm 250 and my girl is bigger than me. The fuck?
Yeah, man, she's coming. You got her to Uber and everything. You already left the bar.
Exactly, man. From 1 to 4, that's your baby.
Whoa. Can I give her back to you? Can I give her back?
No, man, y'all left.
you going home with Bijan? You going home with DK? I'm going home with Gabe Davis. I mean, it's gonna be a fun afternoon, I think.
Well, all right. So this is since I don't want DK, I don't want him anymore. No.
I'm not Beers.
right.
Yeah, I didn't know I had to take him home. You mentioned I had to take him home. I don't want
to. You got to her before I did.
But honestly, my last play would be DJ Moore, and I know, Sully, how you feel about this Chicago passing game. No, I get it. I get it.
He's like, go on.
Well, if we look at history has shown us that DJ Moore with terrible quarterback play, Cam Newton, PJ Tucker, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, he's still beating this Tampa secondary consistently. So regardless of
get some help.
So regardless of what you think about Justin Fields, he has destroyed the Tampa secondary consistently. And even if we flip over the cards and Rashad White ends up being, closer to 15 than 10% owned, like the other side of that is there's nothing there. There's nothing on the Chicago side whatsoever. So I think it's still a way to get different, even if Rashad White ends up being more popular than he's showing right now.
Listen, I'll give it to Tampa. They let that long play up to Addison, which is basically, on blown coverage. Justin Jefferson's going to get his regardless. Back-to-back weeks with over 140 yards, no touchdowns. So he's this year's Julio Jones in his prime. So
he's on pace for 2,500 yards right now.
Yeah, and 0 touchdowns. He's Julio Jones. So, but you know who's not Justin Jefferson?
I think DJ Moore. I don't think DJ Moore is Justin Jefferson.
That'd be DJ Moore. Yeah, and who's not Kirk Cousins? Justin Fields. Okay,
so Justin Fields. So Justin Fields is not Matt Ryan.
Wow.
Just saying.
Wow.
I mean, Matt Ryan was an MVP, so maybe we're insulting Matt Ryan here.
Right. But again, Baker, I'm with you. Dude, if you want to get really, really deep, if you're in a large field tournament, like if you're running the thin lineups with Baker Mayfield already, a DJ Moore run back is not the worst idea in the world. I can tell you that right now.
I think he's the only run back you can put with Chicago. Like,
what about Cole Kmet?
No.
I mean, we're about to talk about tight ends real quick.
Wait, Baker. What about Tampa's defense? It won a tournament. Colts defense. You needed it in your Kirk Cousins lineups.
I think Sully has FOMO over that.
It does hurt my heart. But I'm gonna run it back this year. I'm gonna run it back. We're gonna run it back on Sunday when I back the Brinks truck up with CJ Stroud.
No, you will not. This is not AEW.
So I have 2 plays. I do like me some T. Higgins this week. If you do want to play Joe Burrow and you don't want to use both wide receivers and you want to go Burrow with Higgins and like Irv, I think that's fine. I don't think T. Higgins can literally get 0 again if he tried. Like Baker's mentioned several times, that Ravens secondary is kind of booty and it's banged up. In the what I would think that game probably has the best shootout potential on the main slate there, truthfully. Um, and then if you don't want to play Zay Flowers, and you want to spin the roulette on Baltimore wide receivers, I would say play Odell. Again, hey, I'm tossing out. This is the Contrarian show.
All right, fair. Let's slap tight end in the face real quick. I only have 2 names. Well, actually, yeah, 2. Technically 3. And I'm just gonna throw them out. No real analysis necessary. It looks like Sam LaPorta is not garnishing any ownership.
He is.
And that's really shocking.
6%.
That's really, really low compared to what I thought he would be. I mean, again, another cheap way to get into the Seattle-Detroit game. So, I mean, like Sam LaPorta in this spot, as I already mentioned, if you want to go really deep down the rabbit hole, go up $100 more. You still got Dr. Schultz in Houston, and then
anyway, just to get that Houston plug in, huh?
You got to, Dr. Schultz. I got to, and just for Zach, some Donald Parham.
No,
dude, he split the work evenly with their starting tight end. I mean, he's basically the starting tight end, except he's going to be in the money zone, the red zone. Like that's his area. And we already know that they ain't running the ball against Tennessee. Again, their coach would rather die than give up a 100-yard rusher. So he ain't getting no damn goal line toke. And if he is getting stopped, I mean, you got 2 giants down there, Mike Williams and Parham. So, I mean, why not? Just throw a little dart.
Mean, Parham is a giant. He's freaking 6
He's a large man.
He is 6'6", and you cannot teach that.
He ain't soft. He ain't sloppy. So, tight end, real quick, if you're not playing Kelsey, Mark Andrews is back.
Nobody's playing Mark Andrews tomorrow.
But why not? I mean, everybody's going to load him up week 1. What's the difference?
Kelsey's
I don't mind
back.
him. I don't mind
Kelsey's
him, especially
back on the main slate.
I definitely don't mind him, especially on the other side of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase stacks.
I mean, anything beats playing Adam Trotman. Like, why are people playing? You know what? No, I don't even want to get into it. It's going to piss me off. I'm not playing freaking Adam Trotman. You don't want
to play Jake the Snake Ferguson?
Wow. Did not see that one coming.
Not Jake the Snake Ferguson against the Jets. Come on, man. Pass.
Did not see that name coming. I really wish I would have. I wish I would have came up with that name.
And again, y'all play Dalton Kincaid. I will play Dawson Knox, and then we'll meet in the middle. One of us is going to be happy. The other one's going to be sad panda. Dawson Knox has less ownership right now than Kincaid. I get it. So there's another low-owned play. If you want to get funky in your Josh Allen stacks, go ahead and play some Dawson Knox.
I feel like we owe Dale a shout out. I guess if you want to play Zach Ertz, that's it. That Josh Dobbs only threw to Zach Ertz last week.
I mean,
I'll do it for Dale. I'll do it for Dale.
Catches 20 yards incoming.
I mean, how much do you people believe in air yards, or how much do you value air yards?
Prayer yards, I value them a lot.
You know who led all tight ends in prayer yards week 1, right?
Elaborate.
Kyle Pitts.
He's dead inside.
Dead inside.
Though I'm never going to play him, if I could find any way to bring him up on any show,
he almost. What was it? He missed him on a 50-yard, like a 40-yard touchdown or
something
whatever.
Like that. You're talking about what was going around on the internet where he's standing on the side of the field wide open with his hands up, wondering where the damn ball is.
Yeah, I mean, he had like 85 air yards, unrealized air yards, or something crazy.
That's
like
the
that.
Riddler.
I do feel like they do want to get him the ball.
Of course they want to, but they can't. They can't.
Right. They can't. I'm not playing that dude.
Listen, as much as I do want to advocate for Kyle Pitts, he's had some bad quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
He's still 4,200.
He's way overpriced.
No. Guys, I would rather play over Kyle Pitts that are less pricey. Sam LaPorta, Irv Smith Jr., Logan Thomas, Jake the Snake Ferguson,
Luke Musgrave,
Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Chig. There's just so many players I would rather play. When Kyle Pitts is 3K, then I'm playing him.
I'd rather play Donald Parham.
He said 3K.
What did you say, Baker?
You heard what I said.
Just say it one more time.
I'm not saying it again. I refuse.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not gonna say it again.
You want to take? I'll take Pitts against Parham.
Done.
Wait, you're taking the Parham side?
I'm taking the Parham side. Yeah,
dude, he hates Kyle Pitts.
You're advocating for Parham.
You both could take Parham.
Oh, I'm taking some Parham, and if not for me, for Zach.
Sully, I would take my grandmother over Kyle Pitts.
Has your grandmother have 80 some odd unrealized air yards in week 1, Baker? No, I didn't see your grandma on the stat sheet. I saw Kyle Pitts on the stat sheet, so you shut your mouth, right?
Hey, listen, just because you didn't see him on the stat sheet don't mean don't play him. We didn't see T. Higgins on the stat sheet.
I did. Targets.
Targets. We didn't see the Giants team on the stat sheet, on the scoreboard. At home.
Too soon.
Prime time.
Too soon.
That is one thing I will say. The Giants scored just as much as your grandma, Baker. So I will give you that.
Well, when it comes to Giants, as we wrap up tight ends, we talked about it for too long. Darren Waller. That's it. I'm not no analysis. Darren Waller.
He's already hurt. Is he still playing tomorrow?
He's playing.
He's playing.
Okay.
But he's hurt.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt. All right.
I mean, we don't know if he'll finish the game, but he's playing in the game.
Yeah, he'll start at the beginning of the game, and Lord knows if he'll make it through the game. So I respect that. Defenses, so like whatever.
Jets.
Why is the Cardinals defense so chalky?
Don't know, Jets.
I mean, they are playing a team that scored 0 points in week 1.
I'm with Baker. We agreed on Wednesday. I do like the Jets defense.
Yeah, and that hasn't changed. Do they play Rain Dakota?
I agree.
It's unanimous. Jets. Yeah.
Of course.
You say that. Funky. Want to get cheap?
Yep.
Play the Jets.
Freaking Jets fan. Well, you're a
I am a Jets fan. I am a Jets fan. However,
if you don't want to play the Cowboys defense because it's chalky, but you still want to play a good defense, the 49ers are still playing the Rams. It's going to toss it out there, and they're going to shut down the run, and Matt Stafford is going to have to pass.
I mean, if I have to give a second one, if it's required for the test.
It's not.
Okay, cool. Jets.
How about we just play the Giants against Josh Dobbs?
That sounds like a good
so
idea.
well last week.
I was actually going to say the Broncos versus Sam Howell. Because the Cardinals defense actually looked good.
Oh my gosh. I totally forgot that. Wait.
Broncos country.
Let's no. Let's no. God, I'm so happy. That's not a thing.
I did tell Baker, but I will share this with you, Sully. There is a daily doll hair category. There is a number where the category is called "Let's Ride," and everybody has to stack Russ.
I hope we pick that number when they're on their bye week. For the love of fuck.
Well, you'd have to redraw.
I know, but still, like, it's going to happen eventually regardless, but I just hope that it happens when they're on their bye week. We pick it initially while they're on their bye week.
I just see on his little paper, it just says, "Let's ride."
It does say, "Let's ride" on the notepad.
That's amazing.
That's all it says.
That's amazing. I don't care.
Oh, God. Somebody help me.
All right, before we wrap it up for the night like we always do, bold takes for tomorrow's main slate. Before we get into the bold takes, remember to hit that scribbly-do, the subscribe button right down there. If you're looking at the video version of the podcast, if you're listening on the audio version, make sure you ring the bell and notifications. So anytime that we upload an episode, Wednesdays and Saturdays, you'll be notified. So you'll be the first to listen before we get into the analysis of the slate. Yes, Baker, the scribbly-do. Make sure you hit the scribbly-do. Baker, since you're giving me the funny ass look, why don't you hit me with something bold for the main slate for tomorrow?
Well, let's see. On Wednesday, I said Jamar Chase. On Saturday, I'll say top 5 for that Tampa Bay running back, Mr. White.
Top 5 what? And carries? That's fine. That could happen. That could happen.
Top five in fantasy points on the slate altogether. Not top 5 running back.
Fantasy points?
Not top 5 running back. No. Top 5 in fantasy points on this here slate, sir.
You know, quarterbacks play on the slate too, right? Like they normally. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So when you fade him, you know what I'm saying? We just going.
Yo, man, if Rashad White puts me to bed on Chill's couch, then that's fine. I will accept it. I will just hold that L.
That's fair.
I'm just like I'm holding this D right here. I'm gonna just hold the L tomorrow if Rashad White breaks the slate. So that's fine.
I didn't say break. I didn't say break. I just said top 5.
Baker, if he is top 5 in points at the running back position at 5,500, bro, the slate is broken. You need Rashad White, okay? That's broken, sir.
He's not wrong.
You need him and CMC because he's going to be in the top 5. That's good. I don't know.
Well, you already be in bed by the time CNC kicks off. So
no,
you'll be at your staff meeting.
Exactly. I got a staff meeting tomorrow, sir.
At Whirly Ball.
Yeah, Whirly Ball.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Gross.
Chill. What you got bold for me, man?
Yeah, I think so. My bold take here is that I'll just kind of stick with it. My gut was to stay in this game, and it probably will. I think that Bengals-Ravens game is just going to be what we hope the Lions-Seahawks game is.
I like that. It's straightforward.
You like that?
He does not like his 0-2 record. I can tell you that. Bum.
Yeah. You know what? Last year when I was screaming that their record in one loss, one score games wasn't sustainable, and they're already 0-2 this year.
They're 0-1 in one score games. Wait,
they're
0-2. Yeah, they lost by 6. That's right.
Yep. They're already 0-2 in one possession games.
It's really weird, and I say this, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but 2 years ago, they had a losing record in one-score games. Then last year, they had a winning record in one-score games. Now they're back to losing in one-score games.
They were 11-0 last year in one-score games. That's not sustainable.
And the year before, they were like 1-10. That's also not sustainable.
That's the Vikings. When I think Kirk Cousins, that's what I think.
It evens itself out. The Jets should do something fun and just trade for Kirk Cousins.
Cousins is going to be a free agent, and if Brock Purdy isn't it, he's going to San Francisco.
Brock Purdy is Tom Brady 2.0.
Brock Purdy is it. He's him.
Listen, I get it, but I could see where Shanahan. Well, what do you think they could trade Brock Purdy for to sign Cousins? Listen, Shanahan loves Cousins a lot.
I don't know, man. The city's kind of falling in love with some Brock Purdy, man. I think they'd be sick.
I get it. But, let's say the 49ers get knocked out second round of playoffs.
When they win the Super Bowl?
I'm just saying, theoretically,
They already won the Super Bowl. I saw the script. They won the Super Bowl.
Oh, you saw the script?
You was on those commercials?
I was. I saw the script.
Hey, when you read the script, is CJ Stroud breaking the slate on your script?
No. He was not. No, he was
not. Too good. Is your bold take in that game? Or
right? You already know where I'm going. CJ Stroud, top 3 quarterback tomorrow. You know what? Top 2 quarterback. Only one quarterback will have a higher score than CJ Stroud tomorrow. Check it. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud will win will win me this individual on the DFS Deli $1 million tomorrow.
So are you playing a bunch of one-offs in that lineup?
No. No.
He's gonna play a naked Stroud and one off the rest of his lineup.
No, Baker. I will screenshot you the winning lineup I should show you tomorrow at if you come over to Chill's house. If you don't, I will send it to you. He will be stacked. And Zach Moss will be the run back. Oh yeah.
The person outscore him at quarterback is going to be Anthony Richardson when I take down $1 million with Anthony Richardson.
Hey man, the lowest total on the slate is looking kind of juicy for both of us.
This is so bad.
I don't care.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
We are so
the contrarian. That's why it's the contrarian show.
So far in the weeds.
I'm here for it. Well, guys, thanks for joining me on another episode of the secret menu of the DFS Deli. Once again, don't forget to like, subscribe on your way out. Good luck with all your contests tomorrow, and make sure you play some CJ Stroud. and I will see you guys all on the next one. Peace. Stop giving me that look, bro. Stop. Just stop. Just you wait. Just wait.